Well, good Monday morning. It is 18 degrees out there with mostly clear skies. We just need to watch out for icy conditions on some of the roads and sidewalks through the morning. 23 at noon and only 26 this afternoon, but a good deal of sunshine today. Kim?
All right, well, we do love that sunshine, Brandon. Here's a look at what's going on right now. We've got an accident over on northbound I-75 right at Outer Drive, leaving your left lane blocked. Expect a slowdown here.
It is 5:25, everybody, and
police officers will tell you there is not much they have not seen, but one deputy got a surprise like this in California. Quite shocked to see this 2-inch tall critter just hanging on his windshield.
It looks like a photo from the movie Ratatouille, but the deputy says that he was on his way to an assignment and used his de-escalation techniques to talk the critter down. The mouse was last seen running away. I don't know what I'd do if I saw that hanging onto the windshield there.
I'm pretty sure
you would?
I'd scream. Yes. 5:25 is your time. Doing our next half-hour stories from Canton, Ferndale, and Waterford.
And we're going to have a live update for you on the breaking news that we're following out of Detroit. 2 gunmen in a standoff right now with police after 2 women are shot and killed, and a Detroit police officer was injured. We'll be right back.
American Local 4 News begins right now with a breaking news alert.
Good morning, everybody. You are waking up to breaking news. There are 2 women that were killed, a police officer shot, and 2 gunmen barricaded on Detroit's east side. It is a serious situation that has been playing out since last night. Thanks for joining us, everybody. We do also want to update you on the school closings because the cleanup still continues from all of the snow over the weekend. 80 schools are closed. You can find that list on clickondetroit.com, and we'll get to Brandon's forecast in just a moment.
But first, we do want to update you on this breaking news that we've been following for you from overnight. In fact, Local 4's Nick Monticelli, they're live on the scene. And Nick, I understand that you've been talking with police. Let's start with that officer. How's he doing?
He's going to be okay, Avrad. He was shot in his knee. He is already in stable condition. A pretty scary situation, though, for all the officers involved. In fact, take a look at this video when the officer was rushed out of here to make sure he was going to be okay. So there you have kind of the parade of police cars and the ambulances taking that officer away again in stable condition. Now, he was shot when he arrived to this scene at about 10:30 last night here on Lamont Street near Outer Drive and Ryan on Detroit's east side. He got here because of a 911 call for shots fired. Those shots turned out to be the 2 women who were shot and killed in this. So he was shot in the knee, but there was also 2 other victims who were unfortunately shot and killed. We're not sure if it was in the home or directly outside of the home. So you've got that situation ongoing. Now it is a standoff, a barricaded gunman situation with that shooter who allegedly shot the officer and those 2 women. But there's also a second shooter involved that might be that might have fired some shots at police say they're not sure if it hit somebody or hit something, but he is either in the home right next to them or is just not responding to anything. But they are treating this as a double barricaded gunman situation. What's scarier for the officers, though, is that they say this man has a history of mental illness, at least according to his family, and they also say that he said that he would not go down without a fight. Now, as far as the 2 victims go, we are still trying to narrow down exactly what the relationship is and how they were involved in this. We know that one is at least a neighbor, but the assistant chief wasn't exactly sure on what other kind of relationships are involved.
We know that they were neighbors. One was a neighbor, and the other one was just responding because she had a relative or family member who she was trying to check on.
Now, that information is something they were still trying to sort out. That's what they believed at the time. So what you're looking at right now is this live active situation. The command vehicle that they have down there parked is where they kind of get together and plan and strategize on what their next moves are going to be. And Lamont Street is just on the other side of Outer Drive here, trying to, again, coax this man out, figure out what he wants or how they can get this to end with somewhat of a peaceful resolution, or peaceful going forward, because an officer has already been shot and 2 females have already been killed in all of this. Now, to give you an idea, Everett and Rhonda, the scope of this entire thing, there have been federal agents here, Wayne County Sheriff's deputies here, and of course DPD officers. At one time, there were more than 60 officers out here, including members of their SWAT team and all their other special enforcement teams. A lot of activity going on here, so we're going to keep you posted. Hopefully this ends sometime soon, but again, Everett and Rhonda, it's been going on since 10:30 last night.
Wow, that is a long time.
Certainly is. And Nick, as you were saying, this gunman has a history of mental illness and guns. Has he ever had any other run-ins with police officers?
Not that they're aware of. They said that they have been to the address a couple of times, but nothing that they say would cause any kind of red flags. But this continues to perpetuate the conversation about mental illness and registered guns. He is a CPL holder, has 7 registered firearms to his name. But what I'm trying to figure out, it could be a situation of a mental illness, just according to family members, that might not be documented.
We certainly hope that this will come to a peaceful ending despite what has already happened. Nick, thank you for the update. We'll continue to follow this one. But we should let you know, it was just over 2 weeks ago that another Detroit police officer was shot. You might remember this, shot by a suspect with an alleged mental illness as well.
Yeah, sadly, family and the department still mourning the death of Officer Glenn Dotz Jr. on January 24th. He was allegedly shot by 43-year-old DeCharlos Brooks as he and his partner responded to a domestic violence call. Officer Dotz died from his injuries 4 days later. He was shot in the head. Brooks' family says that he has a mental condition and that they previously tried to get help for him. But after that shooting, you may remember Detroit Police Chief James Craig spoke out about how more needs to be done to treat people with mental illness to stop incidents such as this from happening.
We'll, of course, continue to follow this investigation, this breaking situation on the east side of Detroit, on air and online at clickondetroit.com. In the meantime, it is 5:34. Let's get an update of weather and traffic on the 4s. Brandon?
Hey, just a reminder to anybody who's getting up and possibly clearing off the car for the first time since Friday, Saturday snows, that you can get ticketed if you leave snow on top of your car and drive down the highway with it. Yesterday I was driving, I was getting pelted by people who hadn't cleared the snow completely off of their cars. It turns into big ice chunks. It's very dangerous. Also, some refreezing this morning to watch out for. 18 degrees at Metro Airport with a wind chill of 11. 15 in Ann Arbor, feels like 5. The wind chill is 3 in Pontiac, and 10 degrees in Adrian. Luckily, very light winds there. Feels like 10 in our south zone, but numbers are on the chillier side today. 18 at 8 a.m. Plenty of sunshine, 23 at noon, high of 26 degrees with a mix of sun and clouds later this afternoon. But another cold front comes through and keeps our numbers a little south of where we would like them, or colder than where we would like. But I am going to build those temps up for you, Kim, coming up.
Thank you, Brandon. Looking forward to that. All right, well, we've got some trouble over on I-75 causing some major backups. So listen up if this is part of your morning commute. Northbound I-75 right at Outer Drive, your left lane is blocked. Take a look at these delays here. These cars really aren't getting anywhere, and these backups are starting to build. So if you do travel this way, what you want to do is exit at Southfield Road, take that to Fort Street or I-94 to get around this accident. And then also, speaking of I-94, I'm hearing that we do have an accident reported over on I-94, the westbound side. I'll bring you an update on what's going on there coming up in my next report at 5:44. Back to you.
All right, Kim, we'll see you then. Meanwhile, a snow-covered street has members of one Clinton Township neighborhood sounding off. Families living on Elm Forest Court, a cul-de-sac near Little Mac and Gratiot, say that their street is rarely plowed, while other nearby roads in their neighborhood are maintained, leaving many drivers trapped in their own driveways or getting stuck if they try to venture out. And after years of struggling to clear their own snow, residents have had enough.
We've been dealing with this for like 10 years now. I don't understand either. They always skip our roads. If you go drive around the neighborhood here, you'll see all the other roads are plowed.
Even our news truck, as we went to go cover the story, got stuck on that street as well. Luckily, the neighbors were out with their shovels and snow blowers to help dig us out. The Macomb County Road Commission says that they're looking into it and will review their GPS units in their trucks to make sure that street is on there. Officials say crews will be out there today.
People gathered at the Shark Club in Waterford to help support Oakland County Sheriff's Deputy Dave Hack and his family. You might remember Hack was injured last month when he was hit by another vehicle on Tinkin Road in Rochester Hills. He was recently transferred to a facility in Colorado that specializes in major trauma and brain injuries. Deputy Hack's partner says that his condition does continue to improve, and his friends and family are just thankful for the support.
It was an amazing turnout. There's probably about 700 people here today, and they've all were here to support Dave Hack, which was amazing. I mean, he's best friend of mine for 35 years, so it was nice to see a lot of people that I haven't seen in a while, and they're all here just to support Dave.
Yeah, they certainly were. Proceeds from the fundraiser, we should let you know they're going to support Deputy Hack's family, who recently went to Colorado to support him.
Today, President Trump is expected to unveil his long-awaited infrastructure plan. The president laid out the $1.5 trillion proposal at his State of the Union address last month. White House aides say that $200 billion of that money will come from federal spending. The rest is supposed to come from state and local governments. House Democrats have also announced their own proposal calling for 5 times the amount of federal funding to be made available. And today, we will get a glimpse of the official portraits of former President Barack Obama and First Lady Michelle Obama. They will be unveiled at the Smithsonian's National Portrait Gallery. The former president chose artist Kehinde Wiley to paint his portrait. Mrs. Obama picked Amy Sherrod Kogad for hers. The museum partners with the White House at the end of each presidency to commission the official portraits. It is 5:38 here on your Monday morning, and royal watchers, listen up. New details have been released about that royal wedding of Prince Harry and Meghan Markle.
I think Kim is going to be all ears for this one.
Bring it in. We all ready?
Yep, absolutely, always.
Yes. Love you guys.
But a lot of parents, educators, and medical groups aren't loving this movie.
In the carport ahead at 6, the calls to boycott Peter Rabbit.
Whoa, some incredible and shocking video this morning of an inferno on a freeway. One driver actually went right through it. We'll have the story behind it coming up.
This past year.
Welcome back, everybody. You are just waking up to breaking news. If you are just waking up with us, we want to keep you updated on what is still unfolding that started last night on Detroit's east side. 2 gunmen are barricaded inside of their homes next door to each other. This is taking place at the intersection of Lamont and East Outer Drive. An officer responding to the scene was shot in the leg last night. He is listed in stable condition from his injuries. One of the gunmen is allegedly responsible, though, for killing 2 women and injuring 1 man. That same gunman is said to have 7 guns registered to him and has told police that he is not going down without a fight.
In other news, the White House expresses sympathy towards the families of those 71 people who were killed in a plane crash just outside of Moscow. Emergency crews continue to comb through the snowy field where this jet went down for clues as to what might have happened. So you're looking at video of the plane going down. We've highlighted it there for you. It's right at the top of your screen. This is surveillance video. Russian investigators say that the crew of that airliner that crashed did not report any technical problems. The jet was carrying 65 passengers and 6 crew members were on board.
Later today, federal investigators are expected to arrive on the scene of a deadly helicopter crash in the Grand Canyon. At least 3 people died after the chopper from Las Vegas-based tour company went down on Saturday night. Witnesses say that they heard an explosion and then saw the crash. Remarkably, 4 people survived. They were flown to a hospital by military aircraft that helped in the rescue.
All right, so you got to check this out. Some pretty tense moments on Sunday on an expressway in northern China. Watch on the right side of your screen. So this is a truck carrying natural gas and it erupts in flames and the wall of flames appear out of nowhere. Again, on the right side of your screen, look how big this got. 2 people in the truck had to be rushed to the hospital and 3 vehicles near the truck were damaged. But fortunately, the people in those vehicles were able to get away and were not hurt. One driver even went through the flames. Firefighters say that the natural gas in the truck was leaking before that blaze actually started. Pretty
Leaking
scary.
for quite a distance.
Yeah, you saw that line of smoke there, Brandon.
Yeah, and you always wonder when you're going down the highway, what if something like that happened? You see a lot of those tankers around here as well, but we warned you earlier about cleaning all of the snow off your car. And Everett, I'm just curious, was this Malachi, Shay, any of this going on over the weekend?
You know, it was not, but now I'm getting some ideas. Could save a lot of money.
This is one of the, just make a game out of it, and all of a sudden they're the big helpers. This is T and Brown from Belleville saying, big helper, 2-year-old Preston, way to go, buddy. We need to get all of the cars cleared out from that snow and ice because they are projectiles off of other people's off the cars onto your cars. I got hit by a lot of that over the weekend, and I took your license plate numbers, so you'll be getting a call from this guy. 7:34, our sunrise on this Monday. Sun sets tonight at 6:02, so our days are getting a little bit longer and longer as we head toward the vernal equinox. Just about 6 weeks away or so, 5 weeks, whatever, yeah, about 5 weeks away. Temperatures out there mainly in the teens. We do have 20 at City Airport, but 15 Pontiac, Lapeer at 13, Port Huron 16, 13 over in Howell, and 11 right now in Monroe, with 1 is the loneliest wind chill that you're ever gonna feel. I mean, it's cold. It's a chilly start. Bundle everybody up as you're heading oot and a boot. We have 18, feeling colder than that at 8 a.m. Grab the shades today as well. All of the snowpack and the bright sun, that combination will certainly be bright. 23 at noon and only 26. Average high is 34, and we're well short of that today and tomorrow. And then we start to warm things up for you on Wednesday, which is
Valentine's Day.
Feel the love of our hearts warming you. Just circumstantially, we have warmer air moving in, but we'll either side you want to play there. Cold front today and tomorrow, but we have warmer air that's going to be coming up from the south for your Wednesday and Thursday. Also trying to bring a little bit of moisture with it, so may not be completely beautiful 40s on Wednesday and Thursday, but at least we're getting into the 40s nonetheless. Here's a look at that 7-day forecast. 26 today, chilly again tomorrow, both in the morning, single digits to low teens, and then 29 with more clouds tomorrow. The warm air pumps in here on Valentine's Day. Could get a couple of afternoon spotty areas of drizzle. That's about it. The models aren't really verifying, but the forecast is still calling for showers on Thursday. I think we will see some spotty showers. Most of the activity stays south of us, but we'll keep an eye on that Wednesday-Thursday combo because we'd love some 40s, maybe 50 and sun. Kim, that's your kind of winter day. I know.
That's my kind of Valentine's Day. So thank you for delivering on that one. We'll stay tuned. But guys, we got to talk about your commute this morning because don't be fooled, even though we don't have snow out there this morning, it is slick out there. Those streets are icy. We've got a little bit of refreezing out there. So this is westbound I-94 just past Oakwood here, and you can see that we've got 2 cars that slid off. One right here on the left shoulder, one right here on the right shoulder. So really got to take it slow, not just in this area, but no matter where you're headed today, it is dangerous out there. Again, this is westbound I-94 just past Oakwood, but we've got a few other problems like this one over on westbound I-94 right at Rotunda, left lane blocked here. Expect a little bit of a delay there. And then this one, the backups keep building on northbound I-75, an accident right at Outer Drive. What you want to do here to avoid these backups is exit at Southfield Road, and you'll take this to I-94 or Fort Street instead. Over to you.
Thank you, Kim. It's 5:49, everybody. Let's get into some stories that you might have missed if you were busy shoveling snow over the weekend. Well, apparently the snow didn't stop several T-Rexes from having some fun over the weekend. Take a look at this. On the left, you've got one Canton neighborhood. They turned to Bernice the dinosaur to help them clear the snow.
Yes, but on Ferndale, and this is a little dangerous, but this T-Rex was spotted skiing right onto that vehicle and skiing down the street.
And
probably
not
the smartest thing to do because it looks a little dangerous. However,
it does.
Getting out and enjoying the snow is definitely in order for everybody over the weekend. Just a way to embrace it. The neighbor, by the way, took that video. of the T-Rex skiing down the street. Over 100,000 views and counting on Facebook.
We have an executive producer that lives in one of those areas, and I could totally see him doing
Dressing
that.
up as the T-Rex?
Absolutely.
I could too. He is not fessed up to it, so I don't think it was him, but something he would do for sure.
I'm gonna have to check with him after the show. If he's listening, which I know he is, shoot me a text, because I'm pretty sure it was you.
So this is very special. Some lucky veterans got a very special surprise, a Valentine's surprise, a little early as well. There you see Congresswoman Debbie Dingell delivering handmade cards from local students to veterans at the Detroit VA Medical Center.
And this is the 4th year in a row that she's organized the Valentine's for Veterans Project, teaming up with students. Dingell and associates are going to be heading to the Ann Arbor VA for more deliveries a little bit later today, but she has such a kind heart, you know, doing stuff like that year after year.
And so do all the kids that help to make those. It really warms the hearts of those veterans, so it's a nice tradition. It is 5:51 and new details are coming out about the big royal wedding between Prince Harry and Meghan Markle.
The couple will tie the knot on May 19th at noon. It'll happen inside of St. George's Chapel at Windsor Castle. Then after the ceremony, the couple will then head on out on a 2-mile journey through the town before heading back to the castle. 33-year-old Harry is the first senior royal in modern times to be granted a Church of England wedding. So good for them.
Yes, can't wait to see it.
It is 5:51, and here's a question for you. If your bill at a restaurant comes to $735, well, first of all, what did you have? I would imagine a lot of people were there with you, but how much do you tip on that? In this case, and the story we're about to share with you, there was no tip at all.
Should have been about $140+, right? To make matters worse, the server got fired. On top of that, it had the controversial complaint that cost her her job.
Today.
Good Monday morning and welcome back to Local 4 News. Today we have 18 degrees with a wind chill closer to 10. So we need to layer up and probably need it all day. It's not a real windy day and we'll have some bright sunshine. Grab the shades, but the layers as well. 23 at noon, only 26 this afternoon. Kim?
All right, Brandon. Well, it is slick out there this morning. We've got a new accident over in Warren, westbound I-696, just past Mound, left lane blocked. And then this one causing all sorts of backups over on northbound I-75 right at Outer Drive. Expect delays here.
All right, Kim, thank you. It is 5:55, and the sale of disgraced Hollywood mogul Harvey Weinstein's former company has hit a bit of a snag. New York's Attorney General has filed a lawsuit against Weinstein and his former company, causing some possible complications for the film studio's sale. Investigators say the 4-month sexual harassment investigation found egregious violations of state civil and human rights laws. The complaint alleges a years-long gender-based hostile work environment, a pattern of quid pro quo sexual harassment, and misuse of corporate resources. Well, how about this? There is a server at Outback Steakhouse down in Florida that was fired after complaining on Facebook that a church group left her no tip on a $735 carryout order.
Now, it was a carryout order, but Tamalyn Yoder, she says that she spent most of her shift putting together all 75 items for that order for Christ Fellowship. When Yoder took to Facebook to complain about being stiffed on the tip, a friend urged her, "You better take it down," and he'd contact the church. The next day, she was told that Outback refunded the church the full $735 and fired her for violating the company policy on complaining about customers in public.
I feel that we should be allowed to say something, especially to big parties that don't leave anything, that pay the exact amount. I still feel the same way, and I probably still do it the same way today. I wouldn't change anything.
Oh, all right, Tamalyn. The church says that they contacted the restaurant to see about getting a tip to her and never intended for her to even be fired. They have since reached out to Yoder and they're working to correct the situation. She's still out of a job, though, so.
And she violated a company policy, so definitely had to rethink what you're doing when you're doing something like that.
All right, coming up on News 6, everybody. Local stories for you from Detroit, Southgate, and Brownstown Township.
Plus, under investigation, one of the largest health insurance companies in the United States facing some concerning claims that impacts millions of people.
And of course, we are continuing to follow breaking news from Detroit. If you're just waking up, 2 women are dead, a police officer has been shot, and 2 gunmen are barricaded in neighboring homes. We have our Nick Monticelli there at the scene. We're going to check in with him for a live report coming up next.
Be a part of Local 4 News begins right now with a breaking news alert.
2 women shot and killed, and a Detroit police officer shot in the knee, but expected to be okay. And there are 2 gunmen barricaded in homes just feet apart. This is all unfolding right now. Breaking news that continues to unfold on Detroit's east side. Thanks for joining us, everybody, on this Monday morning. This whole tense situation started nearly 8 hours ago, and it is still going on.
It's still going on. And right now, police from multiple agencies have a large area near East Outer Drive and Ryan closed as they continue to try and work with these gunmen who are in neighboring homes on Lamont Street.
Let's get to Local 4's Nick Monticelli. He is live, a safe distance. This is a dangerous and very confusing situation. We know 2 women are dead, and there's a barricaded gunman that's already said he's not going down without a fight.
And it's horrible when the police have to deal with something like this. And you say confusing because rarely, if ever, have we seen 2 barricaded gunmen in 2 separate homes right next to each other. All of it is happening right behind me here, East Outer Drive in Ryan, specifically off of Lamont. Now, at about 2:30 last night, 10:30 last night, I should say, police were called here for a shots fired call, and that is when the first officer was originally shot. Now, unfortunately, I just got a text message, so forgive me for the pause. Originally, he got here, that's when he was shot in the knee. He is expected to be just fine, already in stable condition, according to the Detroit Police Department. Now, there were 2 additional victims, 2 females who were shot and killed. They were removed from the scene, and they are going to be taken care of after all of this. Now, what's confusing is that there are 2 victims, or 2 gunmen in all of this. There is 1 in one home and 1 in a second home right next to the other one. And what they're afraid of is trying to figure out this entire situation with the proximity to all those around. Now, what's also concerning for the officers is that this gunman has a history of mental illness, according to his family, and he said that he does not want to go down without a fight.
The suspect is suffering from mental illnesses per individuals who know him. The suspect has made statements that he will not go down without a fight. At this time, we're trying to negotiate and talk the victim out for surrender. I'm sorry, talk the suspect out for surrender.
So again, what's that? Hi. So again, they are working on negotiating as of right now, but there's a lot of movement. There could be some changes as we speak. We're going to get an update here from DPD in just a few moments. But I do want to mention that Mason Elementary, which is a DPS CD school, which is right next to us here, they have closed that because of this volatile situation. 60 officers, 2 gunmen, 2 females dead, a lot of moving parts here, and there could be something changing as we speak right now, so I'm going to get back to you as soon as we can figure out what that is.
Okay, we will let you go and gather that latest information.
Nick, could you repeat the name of the school, though? We just want to make sure we have that.
Mason Elementary. Mason Elementary.
Okay.
All right, Nick, thank you.
We will continue to monitor what's happening there. Nick getting an update from police, so we'll give you that information just as soon as he receives it. We'll update you here and on clickondetroit.com.
Meanwhile, just hours before this shooting and 2 weeks after the death of Officer Glenn Doss Jr., Detroit Police Chief James Craig spoke briefly about the dangers his officers face after a recent spike in violence.
It was a different feel this time, and this is certainly not the first graduation where I've had to send officers out after losing an officer, but this one was a little different.
The chief says that he is worried about his officers, but says that he knows that their training has them ready for situations like this.
And we do want to get you updated on school closings this morning, and we are getting a mounting number over the last hour. Administrators assessing that still needs to be more cleanup of all the snow from the last few days. 95 schools have already announced closures because of the rough morning drive conditions. So we will continue to keep that list updated on clickondetroit.com. But there you see the breakdown, and it looks like the bulk of them are right here in Wayne County, Brandon.
Well, and a lot of them it's like half of them are in Wayne County, and the other half are spread around probably rural areas where the icy streets, and we talk about it a lot, you get 50 kids in a bus and all the snow and ice over the weekend, it's not good.
So all combined from Friday through the weekend, what were the snow totals?
We got around 700 inches.
It felt like it.
That's what it felt like. You know, I was surprised at the numbers from Friday. They certainly did verify 5 to 10, but it really felt like you got about 1.5 feet, didn't it, when you were shoveling out there 2-3 times. I know on my driveway I got under 8 inches, just under 8 inches from measuring on Friday, and then another couple on Saturday. Yesterday it was trying to snow, and then it just rained over in the Grosse Pointe Woods area for a while. 18 degrees right now. The cool air behind that last Sunday system is with us now. A wind chill of 11 at the bus stop for the kids this morning. Bundle up. Middle teens feeling like single digits, and anything that melted a little bit yesterday or over the weekend or just new precip refreezing or freezing hard this morning. So slippery streets and sidewalks. This afternoon only 26 degrees. At least we get some sun in the deal, which is nice, but some nicer numbers in your 7-day are coming up. It's going to be 40s a few times. Right now, Kim, though, for live traffic time, how's it looking?
Oh, it's not great, to be honest, because it is really slick out there. Just remember that you still need to drive slow, even though we don't have snow this morning. So we'll start with this accident over in Warren, westbound I-696, just past Mound, left lane blocked there. Seeing some slowdowns in that area, but this is the major problem this morning. Big slowdowns over on northbound I-75, right at Outer Drive. The left lane is blocked, but take a look at the red here on the map. That means it's really slow. Backups are starting to build. What you want to do right now to avoid those backups is exit at Southfield Road. Use I-94 or Fort Street instead. And then 94 is actually pretty slippery too. We've got this accident over on westbound I-94 right at Rotunda that has your left lane blocked here. And then here's another look at another problem on I-94, the westbound lanes just past Oakwood. We've got 2 cars over on the left shoulder and then the right ditch there. So clearly it is very slippery in that area. Drive slow, everyone. And then we also want to give you an update to the orange barrel alert that we told you about at 4:30 and 5 o'clock. The closing of southbound I-75 ramps from Southgate to Brownstown will not, I repeat, not take place today because of the weather. They're going to close the next Monday, February 19th instead. This is in connection to the final stage of the Rouge River project starting at 9 a.m. next Monday. The ramps will remain closed until the fall. For a detour to the southbound I-75, MDOT suggests using US 24 connector ramp. Over to you.
All righty, Kim, thank you. Well, after nearly a foot of snow that we saw over the weekend, private contractors are working to clear residential streets here in the city of Detroit. Officials say that the contractors have plowed more than 1,800 miles of streets. City inspectors are currently verifying their work, checking the GPS on those trucks. It is 6:07 now, and Jason Carr's joining us in studio. Team USA making history, Jason.
The second full day of competition at the 2018 Winter Games in the books, and Team USA earning some bling while also reaching milestones. Highlights from South Korea on the way. Back to you.
But first, our business expert Rob Maloney explains why Bitcoin is like flowers and why that should be a concern for investors. That's coming up next in Money Monday.
Today.
Good Monday morning. Let's start the week out with a riddle. How is a tulip bulb like a Bitcoin? Interesting riddle indeed. Well, let's talk about the history of tulip bulbs. In 1593, the Turks brought tulip bulbs to Holland. The wealthy liked them. Beautiful flower. Then a mosaic virus came in. It wasn't fatal, but it changed the color of the bulb, so people started buying them up more and more. So already pricey bulbs became more expensive as demand went up, supply decreased. Then the bulb growers started hoarding their supply because they needed something to sell. So the prices went up still more. Speculation started. People started buying bulbs believing values would shoot up forever and ever. They were putting their life savings into them, selling homes to buy tulip bulbs. And then one day, something happened. Somebody decided to take their profit and started selling tulip bulbs, and then the price went way down very quickly. So now let's take a look at the Bitcoin. thoroughly modern internet investment craze. You ask yourself, in 500 years, has human nature really changed?
Sleep.
All right, welcome back, everybody. It is 6:12. We've got 2 days of competition behind us now.
Yes, and some medals following those. Jason is here, and it was another golden day for Americans in snowboarding.
Yeah, you know, Rob Maloney, he gold medaled in tulip bulbs. Did you know that?
Definitely a good history lesson for us.
Yeah, that was fascinating. American Jamie Anderson just completed a run worthy of gold in the women's snowboard slope style, while the combined figure skating team secured a bronze, and more medals are at stake.
South Lake Tahoe, California.
On a very blustery day in the mountains of South Korea, Jamie Anderson of South Lake Tahoe, California, took command of the conditions. Only 5 riders made it down their first run without falling, but the defending champion in women's slope style scorched the earth with a score of 83.009 points ahead of the field. That score stood up through the rest of the day. Jamie Anderson wins a second gold in women's slope style snowboard. The United States has captured its second straight bronze medal in team figure skating, as Mirai Nagasu put on a stellar performance, becoming the first U.S. woman to land a triple axel in the Olympics. Then the Sibs, Maya and Alex, sealed the bronze medal for the United States in ice dance free skate. Canada took home the gold medal, Russia won the silver, and 4 Americans have qualified for the finals in women's halfpipe snowboard. A rookie, 17-year-old Chloe Kim, is considered to be the gold medal favorite. And you can bet your Bitcoin there are 5 medal events coming up in the next few hours, early morning time in the U.S., including men's moguls and ladies speed skating. As for where we stand, Team USA now has 2 golds, 1 silver, and 1 bronze. Germany currently leads with the most golds at 3, and Norway has the most medals overall with 8. Back to you guys.
Very exciting. Thank you, Jason. And we do want to honor Detroiters for this Black History Month. And next up is the one and only Martha Reeves. She grew up right here in Detroit and signed with Motown Records in the early 1960s. She and the Vandellas had several hit songs. In 1994, she released an autobiography entitled Dancing in the Street, Confessions of a Motown Diva. And the following year, she was inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Martha Reeves served, as you may remember, as a member of the Detroit City Council, and she continues to perform for live audiences throughout the country and even at special events right here at home.
Always good to see her.
It certainly is.
You know?
And we do want to shift gears and turn things over to Brandon Rue. We have all these school closings, but no new snow falling, it appears.
Yeah, and you just don't know what happened in some of the buildings around Wayne County, or perhaps in some of the rural suburbs. It may be more of an ice on the rural roads, getting the buses to and through them, because yes, by early afternoon yesterday through this morning, drier conditions out there, but the cold air has arrived. Look at our metro zone, Metro Airport at 18. 13 is the number in Howell. Lapeer has 13. Monroe has 10 degrees, but down in our south zone, look at the wind chills from Adrian across to Monroe, 0. It's not a real strong wind, but this cold air, it doesn't take much to get these wind chills down. And this is the impact it has on the exposed skin. For frostbite, hypothermia concerns, make sure we have the thicker gloves on today, maybe a couple of layers as well. 18 still around 8 a.m. and whatever moisture from the weekend that was new or melted a little here and there, refreezing, causing icy conditions on the highways, sidewalks as well. So be careful walking. 23 degrees at noontime and only 26 the afternoon high temperature, thanks in part to a second cold front that will slide through, but no wet weather with this one. It is just delivering cooler air for today and tomorrow. High pressure does slide in here, but for now we have the cool air coming down from the north as we head into Wednesday and Thursday. Warmer air from the south may come with a little spit and drizzle on Wednesday and Thursday. But tomorrow, another cool one, much like today, except a little bit more cloud cover. Wednesday, Valentine's Day. Look at that, 40s. Bouncing quickly into the 40s on Wednesday. May again get a little afternoon drizzle. Will not ruin your plans to be out with your significant other on Valentine's Day. Here is your 1-800-Hanson's weather window, and wow, we did some, searching. We had our cameras all, and this is what we got.
It's beautiful.
It is beautiful. It's our downtown skyline from Windsor. Good morning, Canada.
Good morning, Canada. Good morning, everyone. Well, we definitely want to let you know about the roads this morning. Even though they don't look like as bad as they were last week with all the snow, they are really slick out there, as Brandon was talking about some of that melting and refreezing. So here's what you need to watch out for as far as backups and accidents. We've got northbound I-275 just past Ford Road here, an accident on the left shoulder. And then we've got another accident over in Warren, westbound I-696, just past Mound, left lane is blocked there. And then I-75, the northbound lanes right at Outer Drive, your left lane is blocked. Backups are really starting to build in that area. That's probably the biggest problem we have right now. You want to exit at Southfield Road and take that to Fort Street or I-94. And then speaking of I-94, slick area over here, westbound lanes here just past Oakwood. On both shoulders, we've got an accident here. And then this one over on westbound I-94 as well, right at Rotunda. Left lane is blocked. Now let's get a quick look at the roads with our 1-800-CALL-SAM chopper shot. This is I-75 right at Big Beaver. Despite all the problems we have out there right now, this area looking just fine. Evrod.
All right, Kim, thank you. 6:18 is your time, and in today's consumer headlines, gas prices here in Michigan trending the opposite way compared to the rest of the country, and that's a good thing this time. Plus, we're talking about health insurer Aetna under investigation. But first, drivers injured by Takata airbags have reached a settlement with the auto supplier. Let's turn things over to Maribel Aber. She joins us live now from NASDAQ. Let's start there. Good morning.
Hey, good morning. Evrod, Takata U.S. Business has reached a deal to end its Chapter 11 bankruptcy. The agreement is with automakers, creditors, and lawyers for people injured by the company's airbags. The deal will let Takata not only end its bankruptcy, but also to sell its viable operations, according to court papers. Takata's airbags have been linked to at least 21 deaths and hundreds of injuries. California's insurance commissioner is investigating Aetna. The move comes after the official learned a former medical director for Aetna admitted he never looked at patients' records when deciding whether to approve or deny care. CNN showed the commissioner a transcript of the executive's testimony. California officials are now looking into how widespread a practice it is within Aetna. Gas prices are down in Michigan. AAA Michigan reports the statewide average is $2.57 a gallon. It's about 10 cents less than last week, but it's up about 25 cents over prices a year ago. Metro Detroit's average dropped about 4 cents a gallon from last week. That's the latest in this. Have a great start to the week, Evrod.
All right, thank you very much, Maribel. You too. We'll see you in a little bit tomorrow.
Yes, time now is 6:20 and still ahead of you on your Monday morning. Snow fight, a community demanding action after their neighborhood is left unplowed all weekend after all the massive snowfall we had.
And first, why kids are being encouraged to exercise before school. That's coming up in Good Health. And before we go to break, let's meet today's Facebook friend for the day. This is Candace Jones. And she's from Detroit. She's also a mom who loves gardening, spending time with her family and close friends, and watching Channel 4 News. Well, good morning.
Well, all right. Thank you, Candace. And we have something special for you, a $25 gift card to spoil your pet at one of the premier pet supplies locations. Beverly Hills, Rochester Hills, Livonia, and Novi. Hopefully you have a pet. If not, you could share it with a friend. And if you want to be our next Friend of the Day, don't forget to like the Local 4 Facebook page and click on that Friend of the Day tab. We're back in a moment. Good Monday morning, everybody. If you are just waking up with us, we do have some tragic breaking news unfolding on Detroit's east side. That is where we have learned that 2 women were killed last night. The 2 women are sisters. One is a grandmother in her 70s. 2 other people have been wounded, and one of those 2 victims is a Detroit police officer shot in the knee and expected to recover from his injuries. Now, there are 2 suspected gunmen, and both of them remain barricaded in homes next door to each other as police are working right now for a peaceful resolution, but this has been going on for the last 8 hours and counting. As a result, Mason Elementary and Middle School, not far from this area of Lamont and Outer Drive on Detroit's east side, is closed for the day today. We'll have a live report ahead at 6:30, but first, Brandon?
Yeah, some ice out there on the streets from any sort of refreezing, any melting, any new precip over the weekend, but no new precip out there now. Still 18, wind chills single digits, so refreezing, icy, be careful. Sunshine and 23 at noon, and Kim, a high of 26 on the chilly side.
All right, well, bundle up, and then if this is part of your morning commute, you're going to want to use an alternate route. We're looking at the backups right now because of an accident over on northbound I-75 right at Outer Drive. What you need to do to avoid this one is exit at Southfield Road, take this to Fort Street or I-94.
All righty, Kim, quite the mess out there. It is 6:25, everybody. Let's get into good health. Exercising before school? I don't know, but new data reveals getting kids moving in the morning can help their minds and bodies. Researchers studied elementary and middle school students who took part in a before-school exercise program. And after just 12 weeks, the children showed significant improvements in their body weight. They also felt happier, they had more energy, and they were even more engaged in their schoolwork. The only issue is getting them up.
Getting them up extra early to get them
Elementary and middle school students, I don't know, they like their sleep.
Don't we all?
As do we.
Yeah.
It is 6:26, everybody. Next at 6:30, local stories for you from Clinton Township, Clarkson, and Waterford.
Plus, suing for the victims, Harvey Weinstein and his company, the production company he owned, slapped with a massive lawsuit.
And we are continuing to follow breaking news that has been happening for the last 8 hours. 2 sisters are dead, an officer was shot, and 2 gunmen are currently barricaded in homes right next door to each other. We'll have a live report from our Nick Monticelli coming up.
Good Monday morning. After winning 5 in a row, the Pistons have dropped 2 in a row, including yesterday to the Hawks. End of the first half, Pistons ball. Ish Smith gets it to Reggie Bullock for the layup. He had 18 points in the first half. Pistons led it 56-55 at the half. Third quarter, Blake Griffin throws up the alley-oop to Andre Drummond. Big day for Andre, 25 points and 15 boards. Later in the third, a pair of the new guys get involved. Off the Hawks miss, it's Jameer Nelson grabbing the rebound, starts the fast break, gets it to James Ennis for the layup. Ennis had 14. After 3, the Hawks led it by 2. To the fourth, the teams went back and forth, but with under a minute left, Dwayne Dedman knocks down the three-pointer, and the Hawks are up by 5. Pistons fall 118-115.
We couldn't stop the ball at all. I mean, we just got broken down. We can't guard anybody off the dribble.
It's tough to give up, 118 and try to win on the road, or win just in general. So we got to be better defensively.
Next up for the Pistons, the Pelicans at home at Little Caesars Arena. Also yesterday, Michigan beat Wisconsin 83-72, and the Wings beat the Capitals in overtime. That's it for sports. Have a great day.
Local 4 News begins right now with a breaking news alert.
And we start with breaking news of 2 different homes, 2 barricaded gunmen, 2 sisters shot dead, and a Detroit police officer injured. This entire East Side community is on edge because what is going on there? We do begin this half hour of Local 4 News today with this breaking news story that actually started about 8 hours ago. And at this hour, there's still no end in sight.
There's still no end. Those gunmen are still barricaded, and police are trying to get them out because of the danger right nearby this scene. Mason Elementary Middle School on Detroit's east side, right there on Fenelon and Outer Drive, is closed for the day today. This is all happening a street away on Lamont near East Outer Drive. Local 4's Nick Monticelli is there. And Nick, update us on the new information you got from police.
So we've been talking to actually a family member, Rhonda, and she says that her aunt and grandmother are the 2 sisters who were killed in all of this, and we're still working to determine the relationship of the gunman and the other one involved. Now, we've been saying all morning that there are 2 barricaded gunmen in the situation. That's what the Detroit Police Department is saying. This family member, though, is saying that there's only 1 shooter, so that's another aspect we're still working on. But as you can see right behind me, this is still an incredibly active scene. Lamont is right over on our right side. We are on Outer Drive, pretty close to Ryan, on Detroit's east side. We can also show you some video from when all this started at about 10:30 last night. So right there is the ambulance that is taking away the officer who was shot. The officer responding to a 911 call of shots being fired again at 10:30 last night. He gets here, he gets shot in his knee. He is going to be okay. Those shots fired that was heard and prompted that 911 call, that would be the two women, the two sisters that we now know who were killed. Again, one is a grandmother, one is an aunt to this family member I've been talking to. She says her grandmother is in her 70s. So an elderly woman, at least one, maybe two elderly women shot and killed in all of this. Now, as we mentioned, police saying there could be a second barricaded gunman in all this. Or the family member is saying that's not true. They're saying that's what they're dealing with. It could be that they just thought there was somebody there, but that person is no longer there. But they are still treating this as two barricaded gunmen in two homes right next to each other, which has been very difficult for them. On top of that, they say the gunman has a history of mental illness, according to the family. And what's worse for them is what they say he said.
We don't know and can't explain why someone with a mental illness does what they do. And it just so happens that this individual who suffered from mental illness has weapons.
And what they say that he said is that he will not go down without a fight. This is a very active situation, a lot of tense moments here in this neighborhood on the east side. You've got over 60 officers out here. The Detroit Police Department, the Wayne County Sheriff's Department, Border Patrol has been out here as well, just to try to help narrow this down a little bit. So Lamont Street is over there off to our right-hand side. That's where all of this is happening. They are trying to get this to end in some kind of a peaceful way, whatever peaceful is defined at this point, because you have one officer shot in his knee and two ladies dead. So there's nothing peaceful about it. They just don't want anybody else to be shot and killed in this. But again, Everett and Rhonda, it is a difficult situation when you have at least one gunman saying that he doesn't want to go down without a fight.
Nick, is there any relationship between that gunman and these two women that were killed?
Possible. I've got to go back and try to clarify a couple of things with the department to see what they're saying about that.
Well, hopefully this will come to some sort of peaceful resolution despite what has already happened. Very, very tragic.
Tragedy for that family and concern for that officer as well. Thankfully he's going to be okay. Nick, thank you. We will keep you updated as this evolving situation continues. Clickondetroit.com is the place to go. We'll also keep you updated with live reports with Nick right here.
In the meantime, it is 6:34. Let's get a check of weather and traffic on the 4s. Here's meteorologist Brandon Rue. Morning.
Good morning, guys. Yeah, a solid 7 to 9 inches Friday, another inch or two Saturday in a few spots, another inch or two yesterday, or freezing rain. So all of that said, a shot of cold air has moved in upon us, and there is no new precip out there, but all of the weekend stuff refreezing or just simply freezing. And so the roads are not in great shape. You'll need a few extra minutes. 18 degrees with a wind chill of about 11. So it's not a real strong wind all day today out of the west, primarily 5 to 10. But when you don't have very high numbers, it doesn't take a whole lot of wind to keep those wind chills probably in the teens through most of the afternoon. 23 degrees at noon. Notice what we have up here. 26 degrees at 4 p.m. Again, a little more of, yes, something we haven't, at least it feels like, seen in a while. The yellow orb that we call the sun, and I just have a feeling that if this were an Olympic 7-day forecast, I would get the gold. Kevin. Kim. It's too late, Kevin. Kim.
Oh, what a goofball. All right, good morning, everyone. Well, it is very slick out there. We have plenty of problems to warn you about, but we want to let you know about the biggest one right now, and this is this accident over on northbound I-75, right at Outer Drive. Take a look at these backups. These cars are at a standstill right now, so I definitely want to let you know an alternate route to avoid this. So what you can do is exit at Southfield Road, and you can take that to Fort Street or I-94 instead. Now let's take a look at I-94 though, because it is slick here as well. Westbound I-94 right past Oakwood. We do have the right lane blocked here, as well as another car over on the left shoulder, because these cars clearly going maybe a little too fast, sliding off in that area. So you want to slow it down. Also, let's take a look at our 1-800 call Sam Chopper shot to look at what's another problem we're dealing with over on westbound I-94. This is right at Rotunda. Your left lane is blocked. Backups all the way to Livernois here. Give yourself plenty of extra time this morning, and please take it easy out there. Over to you.
Good advice, Kim. Thank you. We do want to turn to some other stories making headlines all across the metro area on your Monday morning.
We're going to take a look at the big stories in Waterford and Clinton Township, but we do want to start in Clarkston, and that is where the man accused of striking and killing Oakland County Sheriff's Deputy Eric Overall with his car will appear in court. 22-year-old Christopher Barak is charged with first-degree premeditated homicide and murder of a peace officer. It was back in November. A judge denied his bond as he was already on probation for drug possession charges.
Over in Waterford, where a community gathered to help support the family of Oakland County Sheriff's Deputy Dave Hack. Hack was injured last month during a car crash in Rochester Hills while on duty. On Sunday, the community fundraiser was held at the Shark Club, where Hack's loved ones were floored by the outpouring of community support for their family.
It was an amazing turnout. There's probably about 700 people here today, and they've all were here to support Dave Hack, which was amazing. I mean, he's a best friend of mine for 35 years, so it was nice to see a lot of people I haven't seen in a while, and they're all here just to support Dave.
700 people, pretty remarkable. As for Deputy Hack, he was recently transferred to a hospital in Colorado that specializes in major trauma and brain injuries, which is what he suffered. His partner says that his condition continues to improve.
And neighbors of a tiny Clinton Township cul-de-sac are speaking out now, saying that the county doesn't send out trucks to plow their streets. And when our live truck went there, well, we even got stuck in the snow-filled streets. One of the residents, though, who came to our aid, spoke to us about the situation there, said it's been happening for quite some time.
We've been dealing with this for like 10 years now. I don't understand either. They always skip our roads. If you go drive around the neighborhood here, you'll see all the other roads are plowed.
Well, Macomb County Road Commissioners say that they are looking into the issue. They're going to be sending trucks over today to get everything plowed.
Now let's send things over to Jason following this controversy surrounding a kids movie.
Yeah, boycott Peter Rabbit. That's the push happening online because of a controversial scene. What the filmmakers are saying about that. Back to you.
But first, the highway burst into flames. We'll tell you what sparked this massive wall of fire coming up.
Sky 4.
Welcome back. It is 6:42, and federal investigators are going to be on the scene of this deadly helicopter crash in the Grand Canyon. 3 people were killed and 4 others were critically injured. The helicopter from the Las Vegas tour company went down Saturday night. Witnesses say that they heard an explosion before the crash. The survivors were flown to a nearby hospital by military aircraft. Man, some scary moments there for drivers on an expressway in China as the truck was carrying natural gas and it burst into flames. 2 people in the truck were rushed to the hospital and 3 vehicles near the truck were damaged. Firefighters say that the explosion was caused by a gas leak, but believe it or not, none of the people in other vehicles were hurt.
Pretty terrifying. New York's Attorney General has filed a civil lawsuit against Harvey Weinstein and his former company, causing some complications for the film studio sale. Investigators are saying that the 4-month sexual harassment investigation found egregious violations of state civil and human rights laws. The complaint alleges a years-long gender-based hostile work environment and a pattern of quid pro quo, sexual harassment and misuse of corporate resources. And this morning, a popular kids movie under quite a bit of controversy, Peter Rabbit.
Yeah, let's turn things over to Jason Carr because critics are saying that it sets a bad example. What's going on in this movie?
Well, Peter Rabbit's filmmakers and the studio behind it are apologizing for insensitively depicting a character's allergy in the film. This all comes after growing backlash online.
Talk to me, Benjamin. He's mowed half the lawn, which maybe gives us just enough time. Look at him. Pure evil.
In the movie, which hit theaters over the weekend, the character of Mr. McGregor is deathly allergic to blackberries. And with that knowledge, Peter Rabbit and his friends fling the fruit at him. Mr. McGregor then goes into anaphylactic shock and is forced to use an EpiPen. The charity group Kids with Food Allergies posted a warning about the scene on its Facebook page Friday, prompting some on Twitter to start using the hashtag boycott Peter Rabbit. The group said allergy jokes are harmful to the community and that making light of the condition encourages the public not to take the risk of allergic reactions seriously. Sony Pictures issued a joint statement Sunday with the filmmakers saying the film, quote, should not have made light of a character being allergic to blackberries, even in a cartoonish, slapstick way. There is overwhelming support for the film on our Facebook page, however. People are saying this, Rob, give me a break. To that, Jack adds, has Finding Dory offended folks with amnesia and dementia as well? And Lee, it should bring to light the importance of EpiPens, which I hear are ridiculously expensive. Teresa, this type of allergy is no trivial sniffle. Small children with life-threatening allergies do understand they are close to death when they have a reaction and they fear it. Why would a movie producer then suggest to other children that they could throw the offending food at a child for a good laugh? What do you think? As always, sound off on our Facebook page or Twitter or social media, whatever. We want to hear your voice. Back to you guys.
And we had a variety of responses there as well.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah, you can see all points.
All right, Jason, thank you. To 6:45, everybody. Let's get an update of the forecast on your Monday morning after we got buried, Brandon, buried in snow.
We're all set in the snow department.
Well, yeah, and just ask the owner of this White Volvo in Van Buren Township. Buried in the snow. And a reminder to everybody to get everything off of your car, the hood, everything, the hood, rooftop, those chunks of ice go flying. You can get ticketed for that, but they are projectiles. In the meantime, these are local 4 storm pins, a few other cute ones to share with you. Hey, Jack, what's going on? You guys recognize these kids over in Canton? There's one little Addie, Jack, and then Will. These are our executive producers, kids in Canton, sledding, having fun. Matt Morawski, thanks for sharing your storm pins. Here's a look at your Monday forecast. Icy conditions, not from anything falling from the sky, but 18 degrees with a wind chill of 11. That live shot there in Mount Clemens. It is clear and will be bright today. Grab the shades, but layer up. 16 degrees at the bus stop with slippery sidewalks this morning. 26 this afternoon. Our sunrise at about 7:30. Tomorrow we're 29, a few more clouds, but still colder than average or normal. And then we shoot up on Wednesday because we're just full of warmth and love. Valentine's Day, we're in the 40s. May get a little afternoon drizzle, but that just could be the tears of joy.
Tears of joy. I think we deserve a little bit of a warm up. All right, well, we need to talk about these accidents because it is slick out there. Westbound I-94, there is an accident there right at Rotunda that has your left lane blocked. As you can see from our map here, we've got some backups to watch out for. And also I want to take a look with our 1-800 call Sam Chopper shot to show you just how bad the backups are here. We've got this accident we've been dealing with all morning, northbound I-75 right at Outer Drive. You can just see that that is quite the mess there. Only the right lane is able to get by right now. Backups all the way to North Line, so you want to use Fort Street or I-94 to avoid these backups. Again, this is not a place that you want to be this morning. Over to you.
We've seen a lot of problems this morning.
Yeah, there have been.
Kim, thank you. Well, you see them every morning here on Local 4 following our newscast. We're talking about the host of the Today Show, and we recently sat down and talked with them on a trip to New York.
On a trip to New York, right on the set of the Today Show, in fact. We sat down with Hoda Kotb and Savannah Guthrie for a very candid conversation before they head to South Korea for the Winter Olympics.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi. How are you?
Good to see you.
Good. Nice to see you. Good to see you guys. guys. Thanks for visiting us.
From the set of the Today Show at Rockefeller Center in the heart of New York City, we got a chance to catch up with Today Show hosts Hoda Kotb and Savannah Guthrie ahead of this year's Winter Olympics. They couldn't be more excited to see the games live and in person.
But I feel like I like the Winter Olympics the best. I love the figure skating. I love anything with snow because I grew up in the desert. So it's like skiing, snowboarding, luging, bobsledding, anything that has to do with cold snow sports, I'm in.
And I think it's the best part about it is we are going to meet people who on Tuesday you won't know their name, and on Thursday they are going to be on a box of Wheaties, and we are going to be saying that's a person we want our kids to emulate. And we love when, because the parents are there at the slopes, they're there in the audience, they're watching their kids, like all those years of effort, driving them to places, and suddenly it all comes down to like 10 seconds. Are they going to change their life right now? The pressure, all of it. There's something about that moment in time that we get to witness.
And is there anything better than just rooting for Team USA?
Yes.
Let's root for Team USA. This is a moment that we get to all be on the same team. And I just, hearing your national anthem and meeting these athletes and flying our flag. I mean, come on. The Olympics are the best.
And speaking of the best, we have some of the best ice dancers right here in Michigan. All eyes are going to be on them when they get ready to compete at this year's games.
The Shibutanis?
This is their Olympics.
It is. 4 years ago, it was Meryl Davis and Charlie White in Sochi, Russia. This year, it could be the Shibutanis in...
I need you to pronounce the name of the city.
Pyeongchang. Should we also do one Pyeongchang in case we're wrong? Right. Okay. 1, 2, 3. Pyeongchang. Now we got both options.
There we go. Nice to meet you. And we did our research and we found out that it is correctly pronounced Pyeongchang.
Yes, but the debate is still out because you'll hear on NBC's coverage all of their reporters saying Pyeongchang. So I don't
South
think you
Korea.
can go wrong
How about
anyway,
that?
either way.
We also want to let you know you can watch Savannah and Hoda as well as Al live from the Winter Games in Pyeongchang coming up at 7 on the Today Show live from South Korea.
Exciting assignment. And coming up tomorrow morning, sweets for your sweetie. A Macomb County baker putting a lot of love and unique flavors in her cakes and cupcakes. All for Tasty Tuesday tomorrow morning at 6 a.m. We'll be right back.
The number.
Good morning, I'm Nick Monticelli. We continue to follow significant breaking news on Detroit's east side where a barricaded gunman is involved in a standoff, and we've now learned there is a fourth shooting victim in all of this. We can show you some video that started at about 10:30 last night. So the number of victims is 4. You have one Detroit police officer who was shot in his knee while responding to this incident. 2 females, 2 sisters, at least one grandmother in her 70s, who were shot and killed. And we are now learning that an off-duty Detroit Public Schools Community District officer was also shot in his thigh. Now, he was there because he is actually related to the victims in this case. In fact, one of the deceased females is his wife. The shooter is the boyfriend of a niece of one of those victims, and they are also afraid that they can't find the girlfriend of this shooter, which again is the niece. They're concerned that she might be in the house as well. There's also the possibility of a second shooter. Detroit police are still working on that. The family, though, saying that is not the case. So the bottom line, 2 women killed, 1 Detroit officer shot, and 1 DPS-CD officer off-duty shot as well. We're live here on the east side. Nick Monticelli, Local 4 News Today.
And a chilly start. Look at the numbers. Single digits to teens, and wind chills either sub-zero or single digits. Only 26 this afternoon, but Kim, bright sun. We need to grab the shades.
Oh, at least we got that. All right, well, we do have this accident over on northbound I-75 right at Outer Drive. Only the right lane open. Big backups there. You're going to want to use Fort Street instead to avoid these backups. Jason?
Good morning. Today on the Olympics, the third full day of competition is already underway in South Korea. Here's a quick look at the medal counts. Germany leads the way with 3 gold medals, 4 overall. The U.S. has 2 golds. We'll go for more of those gold medals this afternoon, starting at 3 p.m. on Local 4. Men's freestyle skiing and women's ski jumping, both medal final events. Then women's luge. Then after the news, it's the Olympic Zone with Devin, Kim, and Bernie at 7:30, followed by men's alpine skiing and downhill snowboarding starting at 8 p.m. Also, the men and women's half-pipe final and women's speed skating. That'll take you right on up to 11:30 p.m. right here on Local 4 with the news. Of course, you can get the complete listing of all the events, including what's happening overnight, on the Olympics page of clickondetroit.com. And we will see you back here live on Facebook, 9:15-ish. Back to you.
There's a lot to watch.
Yes. There is.
You know?
You don't want to miss anything.
No.
I didn't love over the weekend having to try to find stuff, though.
I know.
I mean, I have
somewhere on an NBC.
I know, but it was, you know, was
if all
more
else fails,
complicated
the
than I wanted.
NBC Sports app, you can see anything that you missed. Because I
advice.
did have to check that out.
And just keep it here on Local 4.
USA.
USA.
USA. South Korea.
USA. Gold medal.